James Carter had barely settled into his new home when the Homeowners Association, led by the domineering Margaret Pierce, demanded he repaint his perfectly fine house. The issue? His shade of beige wasn't approved. Armed with a clipboard, a thirst for control, and a knack for petty rules, Margaret was ready to bury James in fines. But James uncovered a loophole and transformed his home into a neon masterpiece that left the neighborhood reeling. Wait until you see how this clash of wills ended, with Margaret defeated, James triumphant, and a legacy that still sparks debate. James had been in his new house for just 4 days when the HOA's letter arrived, crisp and official, stamped with a gaudy gold seal. It read like a legal summons. Dear Mr. Carter, per HOA regulations, your property's exterior color violates our updated aesthetic guidelines. You must repaint within 30 days using an approved color. Failure to comply will result in escalating fines. Signed, Margaret Pierce, HOA President. James stared at the letter, baffled. His house was beige, plain, boring beige, identical to every other house on the street. Was this a mistake? The next morning, Margaret herself appeared at his door, her sharp knocks echoing like a judge's gavel. Dressed in a navy blazer and pencil skirt, she radiated corporate menace, her manicured nails tapping her clipboard impatiently. Mr. Carter, she said, her voice dripping with condescension, I assume you received my letter. James leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. Yeah, but what's wrong with my house? It's beige, like everyone else's. Margaret's smile was razor-thin. Your shade is slightly too warm for our approved palette. We maintain a harmonious aesthetic to protect property values. James blinked. You're serious? You want me to repaint my house the same color it already is? Margaret handed him a list of approved colors: warm gray, soft gray, misty taupe, sandy taupe, all variations of the same dull neutrals. Compliance ensures standards, she said, her tone suggesting she enjoyed this power trip. Non-compliance means fines or legal action. As she strutted away, her heels clicking triumphantly, James felt his blood boil. This wasn't about aesthetics, it was about control. If Margaret wanted a paint job, he'd give her one she'd never forget. James wasn't one for drama. He'd spent his life avoiding petty conflicts, but Margaret's smug tyranny lit a fire in him. Her entitlement, her glee at the thought of fining him into submission, it was unbearable. He wasn't just going to repaint his house, he was going to make her regret ever crossing him. Step 1. Find a loophole. James spent 3 days poring over the HOA's rulebook, a dense maze of bureaucratic jargon. Then he found it. The rules mandated neutral permanent colors, but said nothing about temporary decorative artwork. Legally, he could turn his house into a spectacle, and Margaret couldn't touch him. Step 2. Recruit an artist. James scoured the internet and found Leo, a graffiti artist known for jaw-dropping murals. When James pitched his idea, Leo's voice crackled with excitement. You're for real? Man, this is gonna be epic. Step 3. Unleash chaos. 2 weeks later, Leo's paint-splattered van rolled into James's driveway at dawn. With a rented projector to trace the design, they set to work. For 12 hours, James's house became a canvas of rebellion. Neon pink, electric blue, and radioactive green clashed in a psychedelic frenzy, spiraling into a mind-bending optical illusion. At the center, a swirling void made the house look like it was collapsing into another dimension. When they finished, Leo stepped back, sweating. Dude, this is insane. James grinned. Noticeable enough? Leo laughed. Someone's gonna lose it. The fallout was immediate. By mid-morning, neighbors emerged, gaping at James's house like it was a UFO. Some clutched their chests, others whispered furiously, phones out, snapping photos for outraged social media posts. Then came Margaret, storming down the street, her heels clicking like gunfire, her face a mask of rage. James, lounging on his porch in pajamas, sipped coffee casually. Morning, Margaret. Like the new look? Her eye twitched, her voice rising to a screech. "This is a violation!" James held up the rulebook. "Check page 47. Temporary artwork isn't covered." Margaret snatched the book, flipping through it with desperate fury. Her breath hitched as she realized he was right. "You think this is funny?" she spat. James shrugged. "I think it's art." The neighbors gasped as Margaret's face turned crimson. "Remove it, or we'll fine you into oblivion." James leaned back, unfazed. "I checked with a lawyer. Try fining me for this, and I'll sue for harassment." The crowd murmured, some nodding approvingly, others glaring at James. Margaret, speechless for once, stormed off, her defeat palpable. The HOA didn't back down. They threw every possible violation at James: noise complaints, dismissed; public nuisance, baseless; lowering property values, unprovable. Meanwhile, James's house became a sensation. Cars slowed to gawk, tourists parked to take selfies. A local coffee shop sold a neon HOA Rebel latte, and a food truck set up nearby, serving tacos to curious visitors. By Thursday, it wasn't just a house, it was a movement. The climax came on Friday when a news van arrived. James braced for trouble, but the anchor painted him as a hero. Homeowner fights absurd HOA rule with a brilliant loophole. The segment roasted the HOA, airing clips of Margaret's rants and a leaked HOA meeting where board members whined about James stealing their spotlight. The final blow? The city declared his house a community landmark, stripping the HOA's authority. Any attempt to remove the artwork would be vandalism. Margaret resigned the next day, her reign over. James waited a week, letting the HOA stew, then let the neighborhood vote on a new color, navy blue. But he kept one neon wall untouched, a permanent jab at Margaret's legacy. His victory was complete, but it sparked heated debates. Was he a hero for standing up to tyranny or a troublemaker who disrupted the community? The neighborhood remained divided, with some praising his creativity and others decrying his defiance. What do you think? Was James's neon rebellion a justified stand against overreach, or did he go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and share your take on pushing back with a prank. Like and subscribe for more stories of epic showdowns, and let's keep the conversation going.